Now that I got the lower grill made, got my tabs all cut off and the edges are sanded nice to fit the hole. I'm gonna mount that today. So what I did was I took a piece of 3/4 inch tape and I went around the perimeter of the opening. That gives me an equal margin. It's kind of hard to see on this black. You can't mark anything. So using the tape gives you a good visual. And what I want to do is have this grill mounted back 3/4 of an inch from the face all the way around so it's equal. And I'm going to mount it with some brackets that I made. And these brackets will fit on the center tab, or the vertical piece here, and then the first one in on both sides. And what I did is I alternated the holes. I put a hole in the top on this one, bottom here, and the top here. And I think three fasteners is going to do it. I marked the driver's side, center, and the passenger side. So these brackets will go on to the back like that, and hopefully you can see the hole that they mount through there right at the top. So I'm gonna mount these inside. They'll go inside like that. And just screw them in place for now. And then eventually I'll pull this panel off, this lower balance panel. I'll pull it off and weld these brackets directly to that, and then the grill will slide in and mount for the finish. I'll give you an up close view of it here. As you can see, like I said, I put tape around the perimeter of it, and that gives me that equal margin to lay my grill in. Let me get my grill. So when I'm done, I want to have that. I got my bracket in there in the wrong place right now, but there you. Hopefully you can see that. Follows that tape. That's my offset all the way around, and then my spacing are all equal here, the bottom, and then around the perimeter there'll be a slight margin there as well when I'm done. So the edges of the slats will have an equal margin on the sides here. It's not going to be the full 5/8, but it's going to be more like 1/4 to 3/8 here. So I'll go ahead and screw those tabs in temporarily and mount the grill, and I'll be back. So I didn't mention, I divided this out for the vertical slats in the grill, and then I marked them equally spaced, and that's where I'll put my my brackets. I'll screw those down in place. After temporarily installing these vertical brackets, I decided to round both sides, top and bottom. That way when it's in the car, it's setting back far enough that you don't see the ends of these. So here's a better shot of those brackets. You can see how I rounded the top and the bottom off. So when you're looking in there, hopefully you won't see this bracket. By the time it's all painted and everything, I'm sure you won't be able to see it. Got the grill sanded, ready to put it back in now. So I got it mounted in there, and it follows my margin is equal all the way around on the tape. And if you can see the way I beveled the bracket back a little bit, I rounded that off, so from the face of it, when you're looking at it, hopefully the camera picks that up, it looks like it's floating in here. These pieces stop, and so my bracket is rounded off and just screwed to the back. Right now I'll weld that eventually. The next step is to finish the edges. And you can see I've got them marked with red pencil right now. And the way I did that is I'm going to space it. I've got this special tool that I made. It's 3 popsicle sticks taped with electrician's tape. And I use this for my panel gaps, like between my doors and quarter panels. It really works pretty well. So the way I mark these is I just lay this in the back, come in through the back and lay it against my opening. Then I take a red marker or a pencil. In this case, a felt tip marker is a little too wide. I found using a pencil works better. It's more accurate. So I just lay those on top, scribe it, move to the next one, scribe it, and so on. What that does, that'll give me a even margin around the perimeter here. The bottom is already spaced equally. And I use another special tool, which is a piece of trim. And that trim is 5/8 thick right here, and that's the spacing on each one of those slats. So I spaced the bottoms with that all the way through here. As you can see, this curls up just a little bit, so it gets tighter here, which is normal, but the top's all spaced equally. And so what I'm going to do now is I'll pull this out, and I'll sand those edges, just take that line off, and that should finish that lower grill. The other side's already sanded and finished. Now I'll sand the edges off to meet my line. I use a belt sander to do this job. Looks good. Left my line on. That's right where my popsicle sticks were. So that should be just about perfect now. I'll touch that up a little bit by hand. Otherwise, that's about done. Pretty much done. I gotta clean up the tops of these yet. Make them flush. Do that right now. bit more with the hand grinder, sander, and I'll be done with this. So I got the grill back in, and see it's a nice equal margin around the face of it. Also on the bottom, spaced 5/8. So all those are exact. And these pieces, see it fit right in there, it's just perfect. Same with this side, they're just perfect. Exact same gap all the way around. So now I'll work on the upper grill.